Those are legal fees associated with a settlement agreement that was incurred between East Cocalico Township and an individual due to litigation. And that's really as much as we can say.
Do you expect that there'll be future expenses besides this
Nope.
Nope.
for legal fees? No? Okay, thank you.
I mean, just one other one, Al.
Yeah.
LNP Media Group, I know it's only $400 and some, what's that all about?
This was about the advertising and all the different meetings.
No, I think that was the newspapers for the,
Yearly
if I'm not
subscription.
mistaken, that was the newspapers for this department.
Yearly subscription.
Yeah, I believe that's what it was.
I think that's all that.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't get the Sunday paper, but we get the others.
That's fine, I just
Yeah,
curious.
Their prices are going up, they have to pay guys like Larry.
You gotta do like everybody else. You put the
do?
nothing in there ain't worthwhile reading anyhow, sorry, Larry.
I wrote the review now, that wouldn't be the.
Good for Larry. Good for you, Larry.
Good answer, Larry.
Any other questions? I make a motion to approve the list of bills as presented. I'll second it. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you. Old business, Eagle Scout project.
The business is the one is, this gentleman, Mr. Evan, came before you quite a while ago, and the Vado pit was approved. And it was to go into Stony Park, and Stony Point Park, but that's when the big plans for that park were. And he was going to add to that. Now that those big plans are not happening, I just brought this back to the board. Do we still want it in Stony Park? I mean, we are going to have some kind of playground there eventually, so maybe this would be a good start for it. So keep it there.
I think should it go in front of the rec board to let them reevaluate?
Well, I was going to, but he's ready to build and the rec board didn't meet. They didn't have a quorum. That was on their list too, but there was no quorum for that, so I just had to bring it directly to you.
Okay.
One thing to add, I did meet with Mr. Oldman yesterday. He supplied an application, a building permit application for this type of thing. And my request would be, would we be waiving fees for this young man on the road?
I'm glad you bring that up. I thought we had said we would do that in the past. When he first came to us, we would consider we would waive the fees.
Yeah, I believe we did.
So I think we did.
Just wanted to refresh my memory. It's been a while since we've seen him, but I have the paperwork, it's already been submitted, so I'll process it for you.
Yeah, but I think I remember we did discuss that and we did okay.
Great.
Okay. Thanks, Tony.
Yep.
So,
Maybe keep it up.
Yep.
Spend it. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Jeff, just to address your point, I think if we, Henry, can you notify the rec board then
Yes.
that we decided to do that just because he wants to get moving on this and just their timing didn't work out?
Need the time to do that.
One thing to add to that, excuse me, we gotta find a location for you, for the record, where would they like this thing positioned?
right. So, look at the plan. The plans they had were to the right side, wasn't it?
I believe.
So if we did that to the left side, where the plan was,
There is a kickboard there now, or, on the park area, the walking trail. We just wanted to defend the area so we don't have a problem.
I think we can look at the plan
Yes.
between us
Yeah,
and
I
figure
think-
out where a good place to put actual playground equipment would be, and then we'll have to install that accordingly.
Yeah, that'll work.
you'll do that then, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, MS4 discussion.
Yes. First item on the agenda is CS Datum, which is our geographic information system database, which shows all of the stormwater conveyances, the basins, all the other components of our stormwater system. And there's an intern, a summer intern at Penn State who's doing a project that would like to have access to that information to basically do some work on modeling, which I think would be very beneficial to us if it were done in terms of getting this project done.
So you're looking for an authorization?
Authorization. Now, the one glitch here is at the bottom of the letter. It says, please let us know if we have your permission to use this data by Friday, August 14th, which was, yeah, 6 days ago. But I suspect they'll probably be okay with it. So if you're okay with it and want to authorize it, I'll contact them and let them know. We can take care of that. The information will be kept private. They won't.
It'll be kept private. This gentleman already spoke with C.S. Davis, who
Right.
handles our data.
So they know what he
And
wants
they're
and how to get it to him.
To upload that to their, so I know you had wanted me to write a whole big thing to him asking for.
No, all I was looking for there was just some kind of written request from them besides just an email. Because they are accessing our database, and with everything going on right now with the networks, the computer systems, the hacking, and everything going on.
This gentleman actually had a fun conversation
Right.
with our.
So-
with our-
Right, so if Ken's satisfied with that, that's sufficient for me.
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
that's sufficient. I just initially saw that penny as an email coming in from out of the blue,
Sure.
trying to access our data.
Yep,
Mhm.
yeah.
But it is kind of hard to hack a stormwater basin. Anyways, but I think if this project is done, I think there'll be some benefit for the township to come out of it.
Okay. So motion to authorize the share of East Cocalico Township MS4 stormwater mapping with Penn State Agriculture and Environmental Center for the purpose of better determining urban fluids loads for landscapes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried.
And just as an aside, does this allow you access to any of their information, or it's just on one little street?
Well, they need our data to be able to do whatever modeling they're going to do, trying to get more accurate models on what amount of sediment's coming off, which is one of the things that I've wanted to do. So hopefully we can get their conclusions and results based on this back at the end of the project.
Okay, you're gonna follow through with Mr. Dawson then?
Yes, I will. Next item on the agenda is Fishing Creek Park. You have it in your packet. We now have the sketch of what's being proposed out at Fishing Creek Park, and there's also a text document going with it as to how it will be done and maintenance requirements and all that stuff. The trees for the project are being provided. We don't have to pay for them. So most of the cost is taken care of, and we would be then looking for some volunteers to help plant trees, like scouts probably, or community members, when the actual trees are being planted. We have the plan. I printed out a larger copy of it. If anyone wants to see it, I have it here. But it involves putting in some areas where lawn is going to be converted into basically native grassland meadow. So it'll be native grass species, flowers, things like that. Be mowed once or twice a year to keep woody stuff from coming up. But it gives us a benefit in terms of water quality, so we get some MS4 credit for that, and it cuts mowing costs considerably.
Where is that?
This is in Fishing Creek Park, which is along Church Street,
Flood
as we're
zone.
heading towards Denver.
Flood zone.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of it's flood zone. And so some of it will be converted into wildflower meadows, some of it will have trees planted that will grow up into essentially forest or riparian buffer, all things designed to protect the water quality and limit the amount of sediment and other stuff that gets into the stream. Just Cocalico Creek at that point.
I have it here, I don't know if you can see it. That's basically the outline.
Does that mean it's not going to be a park-like setting for?
No, the areas that are being changed are areas that really aren't being used as part of the park. It's along the road. There'll still be a mowed strip along the edge of the stream for fishermen. The trees are going to be there. Probably some of the area that's currently being mowed within the area with trees, we're going to plant some native shrubs in there. And so, what?
You see people using that park a lot.
Right, there are, so we're not doing this in areas where people are actually doing stuff. There are picnic tables and it won't be done there. It's areas where it's just lawn that's being mowed but not used.
So it's close, what you're saying, Ken, it's closer to the road than it is to the creek?
Right, the meadow is gonna start at the road and go back towards the tree line. And it's basically an area that isn't really being used. The areas that are actively being used now aren't going to be changed.
Is it near where those boards are placed now?
Or what?
Whatever work they're doing?
You look at it, it's right on there.
Yeah.
We have one.
Plans there, you can look
Well,
at.
I'm asking about where they're working on the overhead wires. And they have those planks there on the ground.
That's that right away.
Okay,
We will put the
thank you.
area under the power lines will probably go from lawn to meadow, which.
But you've seen all the planks they have down. Yeah.
That's because they're bringing heavy equipment
Right.
back in the field back there. That's just a temporary thing. This won't start until fall.
And what was the size of the trees proposing putting in there?
At the moment, we don't know yet.
Okay.
If they're small, they'll be put in plastic tubes to protect them from being chewed up by things. If they're larger trees, they'll be helped established by spraying the grass and weeds around them to limit competition for the first couple of years while they're being established.
So anyway, that would just be a simple motion authorizing Ken to proceed with the lawn to wildflower meadow conversion at Fishing Creek Road.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next item is Rose Hill. Rose Hill has a large detention basin that was as part of our original pollution reduction plan under MS4. We were proposing to do some retrofitting there to increase its ability to clean up the water before it's being discharged, and because of that we get some of our MS4 pollution reduction credit as part of that project. Where we're at with that, the wetland delineation has been done, the basin area has been surveyed, and the next step in the process would be to actually design the changes, engineer the changes to the basin, and as part of that, calculate how much MS4 credit we get, how much sediment reduction we'll get from doing that project. And so we have a proposal in hand from Land Studies that is for a fixed fee contract of $3,850 to do the plans, design work, and the calculations on estimated sediment reductions from the project. So if you want to discuss it further, it doesn't have to be done now, can be done now. It depends on which way we want to go, and a lot of other considerations. How much credit we're going to get for the agricultural stuff. We did make all the arrangements. We have the right-of-way agreements with the landowners and sort of the understanding with everybody that we were going to actually be doing this.
So this is a project that's been on the books for a while.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, this was,
So this is just a continuation now of that
Mhm.
project?
Correct. So the question is do we want to take this additional step? When they do this design work, they'll give us the cost estimate. We'll know what it'll actually cost to do the actual work, physical work on the basin.
Well, it's budgeted, we don't have to approve it necessarily.
Well, no, but, you know, you are going to, I see now that there is a proposal here, so, if you want, you can just proceed, authorization to sign this proposal for the Rose Hill Basin retrofit preliminary design, submitted by Land Studies in the amount of $3,850.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those no, motion carried. Thank you.
Do
Okay.
you foresee that on the other side, the Fox Farm side situation?
Now, this is an existing stormwater basin. As you come into development,
Right,
it's on the right-hand side behind those first couple of houses there.
right. But I mean, on the other side of 897, when they developed that Fox Farm, do you foresee a similar situation there?
No, because what we're doing is we're going in, taking a basin that was designed many years ago to just control the 100-year storm, and now we want to redesign it to improve water quality. So it's being turned into a different function. The one across the street, when that gets developed, the basin in there will be designed for this purpose from day one.
Okay, thank you.
So there's no reason to need to go in and do that there.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. Thank you, Ken.
Okay.
Okay.
I have
Yes.
one more note here we're going to put on the agenda about ordinance updates. Back last fall, probably October, November, we had discussed doing a number of small ordinance changes, things that were needing improvement. One of them was one I had suggested, which is changing the mowing ordinance relative to not having to mow steep slopes, which is an MS4 thing. And there are various other items. And so the question was, at some point we should probably proceed with that. And it was originally said that we would start it in February because we get the year-end stuff done, then we wouldn't be quite as busy. So that was, 6 months ago?
Yes.
So I'm just
This
sort
has
of...
been a unique year.
Yes.
Yes, it's definitely been a unique year. So it's not a complaint, it's just, we don't want it to just fly away in the cracks and never get done. One other item in terms of ordinance change, and I don't know whether it's going to be feasible or not, but something has come up in the last couple of weeks relative to mowing right up to the top of a stream bank. And so one of the things that I want to look at is to see if it's possible to alter a mowing ordinance telling people that you shouldn't mow any closer to than so many feet from a stream, because when you do, it breaks down the top of the bank, causes more erosion. The plants growing there protects the stream, it filters water getting in. There's a whole bunch of benefits to doing it. There are people that probably won't be happy about doing that, but ecologically it's a good thing. So it's may or may not be something you want to do, but it's just a discussion item at some point.
Yeah, from my perspective, Ken, without something there to protect stream banks, erosion happens, and it's kind of defeating a lot of our MS4 ideas.
Exactly.
So, I think that would be a good idea in the long run to.
No, I agree with both of you, because it's literally counterproductive to what we're doing in MS4.
Yeah.
Exactly. I did send out some emails to the environmental people and like the Chesapeake Bay Fund people I know there to talk to them about it and asking if they knew other places that had an ordinance like this. I haven't contacted everybody. So far, the response was they didn't know of anybody, but it sounds like a great idea.
That's
Hey, Ken, stream's fenced off
Mm-hmm.
about 5 feet back from the edge, that the cattle couldn't get in there to
Right.
break it down. And they had one place where the cattle were allowed to cross, and they had that bottom laid with concrete,
Mhm.
so that they weren't
Yeah.
tramping down the mud, breaking all, everything down. So they've been doing it down there for 10, 15 years for sure.
Right, it's one of the things that the county and the conservation district and the state have been pushing, getting some buffer area, even if it's only 5 or 6 feet, to protect the stream banks. And this is an extension of that. It's something that doesn't cost anything to not mow an area. But it would have large ecological benefits. You'd probably set it up so if people wanted to put in wildflowers and other stuff along the stream, you could do that, so it isn't just tall grass that you didn't mow if you wanted to, but the idea would mostly to be protect the streams and visual aspects that people could modify as they wish on their own property.
Yeah, to piggyback off of your comments, that's something similar to what I've installed on my farm, several cattle crossings and the stream bank fencing to keep them out. And, you know, to your point, Ken, it does create a lot more vegetation and shade on the creek and the water. And but then when you get some of these huge thunderstorms we have, everything just gets flattened real quick by flash flood. But the good news is it comes back.
Right, when it's knocked down by a flood, you may break off some of the herbaceous things that are going to die in the fall. Anyways, most of the woody stuff is soft enough that you can push it flat and it'll spring back up, and it's not going to be harmed by that. So the flooding will change how it looks temporarily, but it's not going to really alter the function very much.
Right. Yeah, the conservation district and the county went on several of those stream bank restoration projects. I think in the Millway Stream there was one, and several others. And I think one of the focuses was taking some of the old mill races out that trap sediment and tried to get back to more of the virgin soil that was there 300 years ago. And you know, that's led to some nice ecological restorations.
Yeah, and there's a lot more of that proposed as we
Yeah.
go on. Those are the sort of things that are being done by communities for their MS4 requirements.
Right, right,
Because in a lot of cases, there's funding for that sort of stuff.
right.
So what are we saying here as next steps then for Ken? I think he does a little more research to see if there's any municipalities out there that have something similar.
That's one of the things we need to do. The other one is to just contact Tom to see if it's actually feasible to do this. I don't know. There's some reason why we can't. But it's a fairly simple thing, so I don't.
So, I mean,
What's the directive?
yeah, let's do a directive for Ken to take those 2 next steps, Ken.
Okay, that's good.
It'd be nice if there was some legal precedent going down this road, so we'd have a little direction on it, I believe.
Right.
But I know even if there isn't, there would certainly be a lot of acceptance of this, or the state would be very much in favor of doing this. I mean, you may start out as the model if nobody else has done this before. 'Cause I haven't really heard anyone making that suggestion before, but it seems to make sense.
Right.
Think we can negotiate MS4 credits?
Probably, I would think, because it does definitely help.
Okay,
Okay.
good. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Ken.
Okay, one other minor thing I wanted to
This is the last one.
This is the last one, this is just a couple sentences. I now have 3 volunteers to help work on the water sampling project. We've met, discussed it, I'm collecting equipment for it, and we hope to be starting monthly water sampling in September. So, and that's it. Sorry.
Anything else?
Take your paper.
No, actually,
Sure.
I could think of something, but, you know, it's not, it doesn't seem necessary right now.
Holding tank transfer agreement.
This arose out of the sale of a home where the
Motion to authorize execution of the August 12, 2020 holding tank transfer maintenance agreement with Laura Stir
Works for me.
Yes. At 297 Rhine Hope Road, Denver, PA. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Motion carried, thank you. Rec board fundraising.
So, all the rest has been tabled, all the other items have been tabled, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. New business, nothing. Manager report.
Now, I do have a few things on mine. Unlike Ken, I don't have them listed, so you won't know when they're done. So the first item I have is TD Ameritrade. Currently, our previous manager is listed as the point of contact and the trustee on that, so I believe you need to get that changed. We do have a motion before you to appoint somebody, but you do need to fill in the blank. And everybody's looking at Mr. Carrasco.
I knew that was coming this way, so. No, it makes sense.
But
Yeah, it makes sense, because that, yeah.
who? Me, you?
Yeah.
He's the pension plan administrator.
Yeah, because I'm the administrator on that plan anyway, so we're tracking that carefully, so it makes sense.
Okay, I'll make a motion to appoint RC as point of contact trustee to the TJ American Trade Police Uniform Pension Board.
I'll second that.
And I believe Penny, as the administrator and as the key contact, there should be no conflict of interest.
We'll get that out. There should be.
There shouldn't be, because they're two totally separate functions.
Okay, very good.
Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you.
We'll get that paperwork started. Next item I have is our Public Works Department has requested an upgrade to the bathrooms. Last year, the previous roadmaster did get a couple quotes together to have that remodeled. One was from M&N Construction in the amount of $11,725. The other one was from Melrose Plumbing and Excavation in the amount of $18,003.28. My recommendation to the board that we hold off on this, given the financial situation that we're going to be facing here with loss of revenue due to COVID.
Yeah, I think we should,
We'll table it for now.
there needs to be a few other quotes with those.
And I think some of those duties can be refined, can be, one of those quotes says, Supervisor Mitchell had said, I believe our guys can do some of that work, so we could get those knocked off the quotes. Next time I have, I did attend the fire company meeting, working group meeting on August 17th. And just want to, the board has a report in front of them that I did. I just want to touch on the key things. I do ask that you read that, because there is some food for thought there that the board needs to take into consideration and think about. But a couple of the items I want to bring up was, one was they asked for assistance in grant writing. Their air packs are going to be set to expire here. And that's a costly venture for all three of our fire companies to purchase new air packs. John Sly is a well-known grant writer for fire companies, and he has a very high success rate. I believe his fees run anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000. I think it would behoove this board to pay for the grant writing services for all three grant writers for these air packs. And I believe that round of grants comes open mid-November, if I'm correct, Chad?
Correct.
So I would look for a motion from the board to approve that.
With only-
Was this approved before?
actual dollar figure or a person to do it.
Okay, so
Okay.
That's right. Yeah, when we talked about it last time, I believe it was that we were open to go ahead and do the grant for a grant writer for us to help pay for that. So we have never finalized specifically what it was for.
Correct.
So I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Thank you.
and that is for all 3 fire companies, correct?
That's correct.
We will try to get one grant done for, but I'm sure because it's 3 fire companies, you would probably most likely will get triple the charge. Just throwing that out there.
Yep.
Second item on that I'd like to bring up is, this board decided that, a while ago, the Emergency Medical Services Committee should have been formed, and that never took place. They believe, even though our fire companies are facing some issues, they believe the emergency medical services have greater issues that need to be looked at. So they were asking that a committee be formed to address their issues. And like the fire company, they should be looking at a 5 to 10 year plan as well. I am there to help assist our residents in our township. So they're looking to develop a committee between Reevestown, Reinhold, and Five Pointville. They would like that board to consist of 1 representative from each municipality and the EMS captain from each of the 3. I did let that board know if I had the board's permission, I would help get that group off the ground, and I would also send out a letter to the municipalities saying what they would like to do here, that I would need your permission before doing that.
Penny, let me propose this. I think because that's very specific to the ambulances, okay, instead of you doing that, I believe there's Captain Rick Carpenter there
Correct?
who's responsible for Reevestown Ambulance.
Correct?
Because this is very, and he's the subject matter expert. This is very specific to Reevestown, Reinholds, and Five Pointville. I think he should be the lead on setting those meetings up, contacting those other municipalities, and getting that organized. I think that's the right way to do that. That's my opinion.
Do you agree with that, Mr. Chair?
Makes sense to me.
Supervisor Mitchell?
Yeah, I guess that there's been a lot of history there in the last few years of fact-finding and going down different roads.
And there was already a lot of work done with WellSpan back in, I believe in late 2018 through late 2018. WellSpan did a lot of work with all of the ambulance companies in our general area. They had a consultant come in. I was in a number of those meetings there at WellSpan. So there's already a lot of work that was done there that they should be in tune to and aware of. So they're probably well ahead already. Captain Carpenter should be well ahead already and well versed as to what's going on there. If we do it, Penny, we're kind of starting from scratch.
I'm just bringing the request before the board.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
know.
said, I would.
I know you've spent a tremendous amount of time on this the last several years, and, I just was kind of curious from your perspective. I've been watching it on the outside myself, and, where do you think we've gotten, I guess, over the last 2 years? I know there was a lot of knowledge gained, but, are we really further down the road now than where we were a couple of years ago before this started, or what's your perspective on it,
I guess, well, here's my question. You mean in terms of my understanding of the entire EMS, let's call it industry, or in terms of our local EMS specifically in our area?
Well, I looked at like I said, I was watching this, and I know there was meetings, I guess, with these other companies in the past. the Reinholds or the 5 Pointville, and, you know, I guess there was a lot of information that was given back and forth with each other, and it just looks like we're kind of right where we were several years ago. We might have more knowledge, but nothing's really changed.
Well, what I can tell you is I'm not sure about those meetings with Reinhold's and Reevestown. Those meetings I don't know about because I was not part of those. Those were probably prior to me, Jeff.
Okay.
The meetings that I'm most aware of is the meetings we had with WellSpan, where WellSpan was really taking the lead on their own to gather the data. I would say to gather the data to try to understand really where EMS stood in terms of, in our local area, where EMS stood in terms of, I would say, their challenges, their survivability, their modeling of what would it look like into the future. Those were the ones I said.
Yeah, okay.
And I can tell you, my notes are here somewhere, but I can tell you those are pretty extensive. I mean, I remember well over 10 or a dozen different EMS departments being there, including New Holland and a number of other places. But I think, to answer your question, I think that was much more of a macro view of what was going on with EMS. I think this here is a little bit more of a microeconomic view of just these three companies that put their eyes to.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess, obviously, if there's, you're going to make it, Mr. Chairman.
I don't know.
Better go home, Alan.
Good thing we're 6 feet apart.
We're 7 feet apart.
Now he's coughing up here.
No, I just, you know, I wonder what kind of goals are out there that we're trying to reach with this, or I guess that's up for the people involved to come back to us with where are we going with this?
Right.
Yeah. No.
Because they're most familiar with, they're the subject matter experts.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I think one other point that this board has to take in consideration and look at is, even though it's an emergency medical service in our township, it is a for-profit business, and that does separate them from the volunteer. So,
It's very, that's a great point, Penny. It's a very different model. Extremely different model, because it is for profit. With employees from WellSpan that are contracted.
Chad.
With all your meetings with WellSpan, did they ever come up with a final report or an end result to any of that stuff?
I don't remember seeing a final report with the one consultant that they brought in.
That's a good starting point. I mean, that gets a little further than just piece of Cocalico. I mean, you're dealing with WellSpan, that which goes New Holland over through. But
Right, and like I said, Captain Carpenter may have that. I have not seen that.
No.
Well, and, you know, I had sat through, not the meetings, but on the board, and I remember WellSpan said they were losing $500,000. That number was out there. And I made a comment, and now's the time for this board and Penny to get after your legislator, because they have a rule that the ambulance company bills you $600, and there's a thing out there, they only pay $200 and some, so you're losing $350, $400 on every call. And that needs to be changed. That's part of the reason they're losing money. I mean, you can't keep updating all this equipment. Insurance regulations say they gotta do this, they gotta do that, and that costs more money, and yet they're taking in less money all the time. So it behooves each one of you people up there to get on your legislators and pound them, and pound them, and pound them, and don't let them go. You meet with Ryan on it, and you meet with these guys on a regular basis.
bring those things up. Bring them up. Make them hold their feet to the fire. They work for you, you know, so. This is starting the right direction. It's $400, but every time that ambulance goes, they're losing $350, $400. That's how it is.
Yes.
Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Jerry Hartraft, 351 Hill Road. The Feinholz and Five Point building, when he comes Reedstown's not, the other ones are doing quite fine.
My neighbor got a bill for $1,200 for a call from Reedstown.
I don't know.
No, we can't answer that.
Yeah.
I can't answer that.
And those are some of the questions we don't know, we don't have the answers to, because some of the data that I have is some of the departments are doing just fine. And
I grew up in
others are not. They're claiming they're not.
called management.
Yes.
So, Wesley Hoover, 255 Stevens Road. Question, so do you guys have like budget or anything? Or amounts received for the ambulance?
Nope.
No, we have nothing.
We have nothing.
Is there ways to get it?
You haven't figured that out yet.
No.
We've asked. Been asked.
Is there a way to penalize them for not
No,
getting it?
we don't know.
Nope.
So, pretty much you're giving us a blank check to those. And you don't know where the money's going.
Well, you know, the board gives donations to all the fire companies and the ambulance, and, you know, we don't keep tabs on where any of that money goes, so, in all fairness, so. But that's a subject for another day.
Yep.
So, if you want mine, can I move on?
Good point, yeah.
Okay. So there are key points that I would like to bring up from that meeting, was, thinking she has a protector on there. All three fire companies were in agreement with this. They would all like to be notified when new construction is started in our township, so they're aware of where the location's at, the structure's at, what kind of structure it is in the event that their services are needed. And then they also inquired about plan approval at the township. And I guess there's a gray area here. They're just not, or maybe there's a missing link that, you know, I know our fire marshal comes in and reviews all the plans with our zoning officer, you know, for turnaround radiuses, for the height of the building, for the materials that are being used on that building, the use of the building, what's going to be stored in the building. But I guess that's not being reported back to the fire companies, and so they need to know that, you know, when the plans do come in, you know, what the plan's for. So I think we have a missing link here that we need to get resolved for our fire companies. So I guess just looking for some direction from the board, would that, you know, is it the fire marshal's responsibility to report back to them, or is it, you know, do you want us to do that?
Well, I have explained to me the process, Tony, because I thought that was the purpose of the fire marshal, my understanding. And then I believe, Penny, in addition to what you said, I think the fire marshal does a final inspection of the facility.
Depending on what facilities are in the building, yes, he does. And as far as I know, Mr. Aki is classified as a fire official for the township, not marshal, whether it's a difference or not, but just for the record. But even during our engineer's plan review of the land development plan and all that good stuff, the building review, that type of thing, the fire official is included in that information. And we check out hydrant locations, turning radiuses, make sure we have access around the building. Some buildings we don't have 360-degree access. arbitrary on that to make sure what will work for him, what is he happy with, what does the fire department need to see. So this has been going on for quite a long time. It's in federal engineering's plan review, there is an item in there. My responsibility is to make sure that the fire official sees it, we review it, we sit down, go through it, and discuss it. So that's basically how it works. From the very beginning, that's an item that is addressed. Fire official needs to be involved. Now, on final inspection for a building, I've been on site with Mr. Rocky many occasions with all these big buildings. They have special fire suppression systems. They have to do flow testing and whatnot. Mr. Rocky is there. Make sure, I believe there's documents that he signs to make sure that everything is functioning correctly as it should.
So I know we are doing, the township is doing what they need to do as far as, protecting our residents and making sure the plans meet the specs of the fire marshal or the fire official. But there's a broken link here, so I get that corrected.
And we can research it. I'm not quite sure that there is a job description for the fire official for the township, and that could be the starting point to make sure we have something delineated as to what his responsibilities are.
I guess with all that information that's going out there, where is it going?
Well, I don't know.
What's the fire official doing with that information? And I mean, I've only been here 2.5 years. How long has that been going on? How many years?
Well, all three fire companies were in agreement that they were not getting the information.
I'll comment on that a little bit. Harvey is doing that job, and he's been for as long as I've been doing that.
Correct.
I think the link that we're missing at the fire department's point is we would like to see just like an overview print of the building or the facility. We don't need involved in all the township's requirements of the testing and all that. It'd be nice just to see a digital copy of the site plan or, a front view of the building that, just something that we have, oh yeah, that's going on, so we can start pre-planning for it.
Correct.
We have never really done that. Wabash Lane, the best I get of that, I've called Tony a couple of times on it, I see they, as I drive through and look at it for myself.
Well, we've been on site with you, myself, Brent Lee, whatnot, discussing.
Yeah, different things, but that's how we find out about it. So we're basically saying we'd like to see, I don't know, an overview of the property or the development or something like that. We don't need involved, is there 15 hydrants, are they?
Could that be done electronically?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
You put the whole piece of the plan and give them, let you know how many lots there are.
So,
Yeah, just an overview snapshot or something, just,
So Chief, let me ask you this. If that's what you guys have a concept of what you need, general idea, right?
I think so.
Right? So why don't the chiefs get together, figure out what is it that you guys are looking for, get back to our fire official.
Well, let's put that on our return conversation with Randy, that we'll take back to that board day.
Get that back.
I'm sitting here speaking for myself, and Scott or Donnie may say something different, but I'd like to just for an overview picture, like that development that was here tonight, it'd be nice to see just a snapshot of what that overview of that development was.
Right.
Instead of sitting here listening and piecing it together.
So that's what I mean. So the three chiefs get together, get a concept of what you're looking for, get that over to our fire official and to Tony. Right?
Yeah.
To see how best then to address what you guys are.
And we don't want involved in any of the decision making, right? This would be when everything's approved and ready to break ground, and by the way, there's an overview of it. We don't need involved in any of that.
And one thing to point out, with all these large plans, land development, all that kind of stuff, there are months worth of meetings and reviews and discussions. That is in a public meeting twice a month, that type of thing. So it's out there, and all we need is a request, we'll make sure that happens.
Well, once a plan is approved and signatures go on that plan, we can make sure that you get the plan.
That's something simple like that, it just,
Okay.
And coming back to the fire official, whatever, I know that's been in topic of discussion several times on the job description for him. I don't know if there was one that exists or not.
Well, I have written those before for a fire marshal, so I do have templates that I will share with this board, should they choose to do that. Gentlemen, and I would get, obviously, the fire marshal's input on that as well. last items under that is, they did bring up about, and I think this was answered before, the false alarm fees. Where do those money goes to? And we do have a lot of different alarm fees. They are all pumped in together. They go into our general fund. But as you know, each home is allowed 3 times before they actually get a fine for that. So, and I think that's rare.
Well, just point of clarification, the first false alarm is gratis.
Okay.
The other one, the second, the third, and fourth, and so on, they get charged.
They do get charged.
They do. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the first violation after the initial warning is $100, the next one will be $200, second maxes out at $300 per event.
Okay.
So it gets costly very quickly.
Okay, so they want to, the fire companies let them know that they are the ones responding to that. Why is it they are not saying that?
That 30,000 came out of the general fund that you got this year, so. 35,000. Yeah.
I think that's the purpose of the donation we give to the companies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or also the radios, the radios we're gonna pay for, that come out of their general fund too, so it's reinvested in there.
And
so.
that's
And those
also,
radios are on the way, by the way. They were backlogged, but they will be here at least over the next week and a half or so.
and just for clarification, that's also why the prior board with Mr. Mackley, Alan and myself, we approved the increase for this year for the fire companies, because we knew that you did not have an increase that we calculated even kept up with the rate of inflation, so that's why we did that too. So I think that's the purpose of that. Because I don't think the false alarm fees,
Would add up to that.
Judy, you can check, I don't think they add up to much at all.
I think there was duty on that. The different fines are not broken down, so we don't have that in our account. So like I said,
Need a bigger mask, Alan.
That's I'm throwing this out when I get out of here.
Don't throw it on the ground.
So, you gentlemen would just read the rest of that report, I appreciate it.
Okay.
So now I'll tell you my last item. So, Judy and I have been talking, and as you all know, it's been a trying year for the township. There's a lot of things out there that need to be addressed that are on the table. I would like to give you a time frame. I can't, but I'll let you know the things that we know is out there, just so you know that we haven't forgotten. The budget schedule, which we did manage to get back up. The employment manual. We were so close on that. I would really like to wrap that out this year. Get all those policies updated and job descriptions updated, and I would like to see that through this year, at least get that done. Our traffic impact fees, that has to be researched thoroughly, and that has to be laid out differently. That's going to take some time and some involvement. I don't see that happening this year, to be honest with you. I'll start on it, but that's going to be pretty involved. Developer billings and escrow, we're trying to utilize our software to the best of its ability, and our whole goal here is to build a solid foundation now that we have that going. So lines of credit, employee filing, we just have a lot of that. Just organize it better and get a better handle on that. We continue to learn about our monthly charges, the crossing guards, the school resource officer, ECTA, the retirees' health insurance, So police contract, we are going to sit down with the police and a couple of the officers and go through that contract just to make sure we have all the items covered there. Judy brought up this morning about the general fund being refunded properly, the transfers for the tax collector commissions and things like that. Full revenues go into one fund. That money should really be transferred back to the general fund to help cover expenses. We need to create a lot of due to and due from accounts. So we know there's a big scope of things yet that they are on our list. So So I just wanted to let you know that, you know, we will attack them one by one and they're not forgotten. So that's all I have.
Well, I just wanted to say I appreciate the progress that you and Judy have done. I think we're headed on the right track here, getting some things straightened out from where they were, probably where they should be. So,
Well, like I said, our goal is to build a good foundation. So, and just do it right.
I have an item on the agenda, I'm sorry, gentlemen, but I'll mention it. It's not 10 o'clock yet, so maybe. Okay, Kat. I saw Lisa's email that the newsletter, fall newsletter, looks to be put together till the end of next week. And one of the items that I noticed in the emergency services report puts out there is that the fire chiefs would like to have some more communication within our neighborhoods and trying to get their message out, looking for more volunteers and all. And here's a proposal I just wanted to throw out just for conversation purposes. You know, with our newsletter going out to all the addresses within the township, what would you say about giving a page of the newsletter to the firefighters to, you know, maybe create a profile or two, you know, a half page on two different volunteers and firefighters within the community, maybe just a little headshot of the person. They could go in and sit down with Lisa for, you know, 10 minutes or so and just have a few questions and tell them what their experience is like being a volunteer in our community. And I think, you know, I think it gives them good publicity within the community. Maybe it'll stir somebody's thoughts about wanting to check it out further or join one of the companies. You know, I think it's a good way for us as a board to try and help them fill some of that gap. And, you know, with Chad or Barry here, you know, what are your thoughts on an idea like that?
I think that would help. Yeah, because a lot of the public don't know, like, you know, some of them think they're paying taxes, you know, and that's included in the fund drive and everything, you know. There's a lot of people, I know we got out there and we were putting in our newsletter that, you know, we're not getting paid, you know, for, you know, anything that the tax money's not going toward the fire company. We actually put that in our newsletter, you know, for the, you know, fund drive went out. And we put in about, you know, we're looking for younger generation and stuff to help, and
I think it's a good idea. I just don't think we should, I think we should open it up to the fire companies deciding what they want to put there. Let's not pigeonhole what it's for.
I don't know, that idea was kind of neat.
Yeah.
Top of my head there, that was a pretty good
Yeah,
thought.
you guys could do that, or the departments, you give them a half page each and they can do whatever they choose to put in there.
So you looking to do that in this coming newsletter,
Well,
which would be next week?